We are ready.
All right. So this is the January 19, 2023 Planning Commission meeting. And since we do not have Allison present, I'm just going to go ahead and just start off the meeting. The Mendocino County Planning Commission meetings will be conducted virtually and are not available for in-person public participation pursuant to the provisions of the Government Code Section 54953 and the recommendations of the Mendocino County Health Officer. Meetings are live streamed and available for viewing on the Mendocino County YouTube page. So we're going to go ahead and move down to roll call.
Commissioner Wiedemann,
Here,
Commissioner-
present.
Commissioner Pollan,
Present.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Babini,
Present.
and Chair Purnell is absent by prearrangement today.
All right, thank you. That moves us to the Planning Commission administration. So item 2A is discussion and possible action, including adoption of a resolution of the Mendocino County Planning Commission finding that the state or local officials continue to recommend measures to promote social distancing in connection with public meetings.
I make a motion to the resolution of the Mendocino County Planning Commission finding that the state or local officials continue to recommend the measures to promote the social distancing for public meetings.
Before, if I may, before we go ahead and accept a motion, we need to open up a public hearing on this item.
Okay.
If there's anyone in the waiting room that would like to speak on this, there's a hand raised if we can. We'll let in Anne Marie Weibel to speak under public comment.
Hi, I would like to ask you in regards to 2A, when will you be able to use the Board of Supervisors chambers? We were told that you needed to be trained and that it was in the works, and I still would like the option to be able to comment via Zoom, but also have the option to be live at the Board of Supervisors chambers. And I have a comment in regards to 2C, but I'll deal with that when it comes to 2C. Thank you.
Thank you. I think for the benefit of the commission and the public, the earliest we can go with any type of meetings in the board chambers is March of this year. And that is because one, staff needs to be trained with the clerk of the board, as well as procedures and equipment. And number two, the department has lost staff recently, so we are in process of trying to fill positions as well on the clerical side for this type of work. Yes, Commissioner Babini.
Does this affect the governor's order for return to in-person meetings? That was at the end of February, I believe, was when they were hoping or requiring those meetings to return.
If I may, I'm going to ask counsel to help me on this one, but it's my understanding that the governor hasn't yet lifted anything. And so until we hear from the governor's office, we then move in that direction. But maybe Matt, I don't know if you've heard anything recently.
So Deputy County Counsel Matthew Gadrowski, I don't know all the specifics of it. As far as I recall hearing, yes, the emergency was supposed to be lifted as of the end of February. I'm not sure if that's going to remain the same, but I think that's one of the reasons why, at a minimum, we're looking at the first part of March for being an in-person meeting. But beyond that, I would defer to the department, and there are dealings with clerk of the board and using that space.
Thank you, Matt.
Do we have any other members of the public that wish to speak on this matter? Item 2B, excuse me, 2A. Seeing none, I'll just return it to the Planning Commission at this point.
And we do have a motion on the floor. We're waiting for a second for the resolution.
I second.
For roll call vote, Commissioner Pollan,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Babini,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiedemann.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. That moves us to item 2B, which is election of chair and vice chair to the Planning Commission.
I have a question for staff and potentially council. Are we able to do that with not all of the commissioners present?
Deputy County Council Matthew Gadrowski, yes, you are.
Okay.
Are you going to call on us?
At this point, until we have a chair, I'll just kind of work with the Planning Commission, but yes.
Okay, I have my hand up.
Yes.
Good morning, everybody. What we have done in the past is we rotate chair and vice chair. And it's been a little odd in this COVID series because we have not met in person for quite a while. So I suggest that we open it up, have a discussion, and select a chair and a vice chair. And I spoke with the outgoing chair, Allison, and she concurred to share that information, that it is a rotating thing because it gives everybody an opportunity to do all pieces of being a commissioner.
So can we nominate Diana to be chair?
You could, but
I would like to nominate Diana Wiederman for chair.
I second that. I would love to have Diana as our chair.
So we have
All right.
a motion and a
Do
and
we
a
need,
second.
do we need to vote on this separately as the vice chair, or should it all be one vote?
We're going to vote separately for each one.
Great.
So we have a nomination, a motion, and a second on the floor for chair. So we can go ahead and take the vote.
Commissioner Wiedemann,
I abstain.
Commissioner Pollan,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Babini.
Yes.
Motion
Well,
passes.
thank you.
Passes,
Thank you.
and so with that, Chair Wiedemann, I turn the meeting over to you.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And I just want to thank staff for handling all the changes that have been coming down. And I also want to just let my fellow commissioners know that Julia Acker-Krog, our head planner, is, out for a couple of weeks because she had a large tree fall on her house and destroy the house. So
Yeah.
she's in process of rehousing. All right. With that, do we have a motion for vice chair?
Can I ask if anybody would be interested in it? I know we have nominations for people, but I also like to hear from people that would be interested, in serving in that role as well. I personally, just because one, I am newer to the commission, and I do serve other roles in the community. I am not interested in the vice chair position.
Cliff, are you up for it?
Yes.
Awesome. I nominate Cliff Pollan for vice chair.
I will second that.
All right. Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Babini,
Yes.
Commissioner Pollan,
Yes.
Chair Wiedemann.
Yes. Well, congratulations, Cliff. All right. Now that we have done our election of chair and vice chair to the Planning Commission, and do we have determination of legal notice?
Yes, all items have been properly noticed.
And do we have a director's report?
Chair Wiedemann, Nash Gonzalez, interim.
There's a comment on
Oh,
2C.
all right, so let's
Chair, wait a
do-
minute, if we can go back to the comment on 2C, we're gonna bring,
Sorry. Okay, back to
Uh,
2C.
Thank you very much. I mentioned earlier that I wanted to speak under 2C. I heard you say that determination of legal notice has happened. What I want to bring to your attention, and it's actually dealing with item 6A, but the reason I want to bring this to your attention is the condition of approval and the addendum to the MND and the resolution for that item is not listed online. So I do feel this cannot be talked about because neither you nor the public has had the chance to look at this item in its entirety. Thank you.
if I may, through the chair, the staff report, the attachments, the addendum to the mitigated negative declaration, and the resolution are posted in one single packet online under the case number. They are not posted separately as independent items. They are posted under the case UM 2022-0003 on the Planning Commission website.
It wasn't for me.
You'll need to scroll through all the pages, Ms. Weibel.
I did. I have 71 pages.
That's the item.
I don't see it listed anywhere.
If I may, as,
Go ahead, Commissioner
Uh,
Badini.
as just a second, I could not find my paper copy this morning, and so I was able to pull it from the website for today's meeting.
Right. It's on the webpage. Does, Ms. Weibel, do you have a one aspect that's missing of those pages?
I have 71 pages, but I don't have the condition of approval, the addendum to the MND, and the resolution that is missing.
If I may, through the chair, I'm loading the website now, but the resolution is located on page 59 of that
59.
attachment.
Yes,
The conditions of approval are located on page 62 of that attachment of 71 pages.
that's right.
And the addendum is located on page 68 of that singular attachment on the website.
Yes, and I have seen that and read that. I concur.
And just a note for the public, it has been department practice historically to load a single PDF of an item. When items are very large, we can break them apart, but typically we load one link as a staff report for a project.
All right. Seeing that that was answered, do we have any other public comments? Adrian?
No, I'm not seeing any comments. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. So with that, let's move to the director's report. Item 3, director's report. Do we have a director's report?
Chair Wiedemann, Nash Gonzalez, interim planning building services director. I think you pointed out that our director is going to be out for a few weeks due to a tree that did some damage, or should I say destroyed the house. So our director will be absent. So I'm taking the meeting today and handling a lot of the administrative work with the department. But I wanted to go ahead and take this opportunity to introduce Mike McGinnis, who's here with us in the room. He's our new chief planner in the Ukiah office. He started back in November. Good morning.
Welcome.
Welcome.
And Mike comes to us with extensive experience in long-range planning, coastal commission work, And recently he worked for Lake County, and before that he was in Santa Barbara County.
Well,
Welcome.
great.
Great to have you.
So we have a welcome addition to the team.
Well, welcome. That's great. Anything else on the report check-in from the director?
No, Chair.
All right,
That concludes my report.
thank you. Then we'll move on to item number 4, matters from public.
If any members of the public wish to speak under this item, please raise your hand. We're bringing Anne Marie Weibel in to speak again.
Thank you. I want to talk to you about something that I've talked to you many times before. I want to encourage you to come up with new wireless guidelines. They are from 2015, and with each 10-year span, the effects of wireless radiation is very much stronger. It's in 10 years, it is a quintillion more. That means a 1 with 18 zeros. So also, as you know, the Telecommunication Act from 1996 is 26 years old, and it apparently cannot be challenged due to health reasons. And even though there's a lawsuit that was filed by the Children's Health Defense and Environmental Trust and others, and they won because the CPUC needs to prove that it is not damaging this technology, and that is impossible to prove that it is not. In addition, the county has a precautionary principle that doesn't seem to come into play with any of these issues about cell towers. And it would really be important if you as a staff, the staff and the commissioners are being informed about 5G. We're now talking about 6G, about the satellites that are all around us, even in the ocean. And so it is really high time to look at these issues. And I know staff is short-staffed, and that keeps being postponed. I offered that there were some really knowledgeable people who could train people. That was not being followed. And actually 2 of the outgoing commissioners agreed that these wireless guidelines need to be rewritten. So I'm appealing to you again to make that happen. Thank you.
Any comments from fellow commissioners?
It seems to me that the time to look at this is when we redo the zoning ordinance, and I'm assuming the consultant is doing that. And we can talk about it then, because obviously we're redoing the whole zoning ordinance, this would be part of that.
All right. Any other comments from any other commissioner? All right. With that, matters from public, is there any other speakers out there, Adrian?
No one else has their hand raised at this time, Chair Wiedemann.
Okay, thank you. With that, let's move to 5, item number 5, consent calendar. And it doesn't appear we have anything on the consent calendar. So we'll move to the item number 6, our regular calendar, and we have a item 6A, case number UM 2022-0003. The Funk property owner for AT&T Mobility. The agent is Epic Wireless. And the request is a modification to use permit of existing communications facility to expand the existing lease area at the base of the tower by 300 square feet. Install a pre-manufactured equipment cabinet, install a new GPS unit on the tower, install 9 new antennas at the 75-foot level of the tower, install 15 RRUs, install 3 surge suppressors, install a diesel-powered emergency power generator with a 190-gallon fuel storage tank, and upgrade power telco to new site location. It's categorically exempt. Its location is in the coastal zone. It's 1.06 miles from the town of Albion, lying on the east side of State Highway 1, and at the intersection, about 1,500 feet from the intersection of Navarro Ridge Road, and located at 2335 North Highway 1, Albion. Can we have a staff report?
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. This is Keith Gronendijk, planner with Mendocino County. The general plan and zoning of the property is rangeland. And I should note that there was an addendum adopted to the previously mitigated negative declaration for the environmental determination. And the applicant has stated that this project is part of the Connect America Fund that provides underserved areas throughout the United States in general and throughout Mendocino County in particular with high-speed broadband internet. Also, AT&T's secondary objective is to provide and enhance AT&T's wireless telecommunication services to underserved areas. At the project site, there's a stand of trees surrounding the tower location, and that's one of the reasons why the cell tower is stealthed as a tree. Existing single-family residence and multiple barn structures are located approximately 480 feet to the southeast. The residence and cell tower are accessed by a gravel driveway accessed off of State Route 1. The project was found to be consistent with the coastal local coastal program, and all of the findings were made for the approval of this project. And that concludes my presentation. And I can entertain any questions.
Yes, Commissioner Babini. You have to unmute.
Yes. I had a question about the generator with the 190-gallon tank, I believe. I was reading through the staff report, and under the related applications, I believe I couldn't tell if the previous 30-kilowatt generator was existing and they were replacing a generator, or if this was a completely new application with this modification.
I'm not sure. Sometimes these towers have separate antenna providers, and they usually have their own generators. That might be something for the project applicant to answer.
Well, the only reason I ask is because I saw that previously they had a 132-gallon propane tank, and I was wondering if they had a propane generator and then are adding a separate generator that was a diesel generator and they would have 2, or if they're just replacing a previous generator and having just one generator there for emergency purposes.
That's a good question. Any other question? Let's hold that question until we get the applicant's representative to answer that, if you may, if you're comfortable.
Yeah.
Any other questions with staff report from other commissioners? All right, with that, can we have the applicant?
Yes, we're bringing in Karen Leonard. I apologize if I slaughtered your name.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I never know if I'm unmuted or not, but this is Karen Leonard with AT&T. And first, to answer the question about the generator, it is actually a second generator. Verizon is currently there and they have their own generator. So this will be a generator servicing just the AT&T equipment. It's pretty rare that we use a shared generator because they get so large. So this is a second generator.
And I do have a follow-up question to that. And so I know these like car-sized generators that can serve a single unit basically for these cell towers. And so when I visualize a 30 kilowatt generator, I do picture one of the smaller ones, right? And so this would be to facilitate just the continued use and emergency purposes for the AT&T portion of the tower, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And since I've joined the meeting, I just wanted to say Keith did a good job explaining the project. This is a co-location, so we're trying to take advantage of a tower that's already there. This project actually replaced another one that we had previously been looking at to build a new tower. So we think this is a good way to provide the coverage we need, and we are in agreement with all of the conditions.
Okay. And was there anything else that's your report?
Yes, that's my report.
Okay. Okay, so with that, let's open it up to the public, and then we'll go back to the commission.
Anyone in the waiting room, if you'd like to speak, please raise your hand for this item. We'll bring in Anne Marie Weibel.
I apologize for not having noticed the exhibits. I thought they would be separate and clearly marked as exhibits A and B. I also sent you my written comments later, unfortunately a bit late, but I want to know why no balloons were placed so people can actually see how it would look like from the highway as it's visible from the highway. And what means upgrade to power and fiber? Will it be underground? Not like it is with the Navarro Ridge Tower, where poles were posted and cables strung, and then they got into storm situations, and it's a big mess. There still needs to be a CDP about that, and the public is waiting for it. It's 3 years after it was first agreed to build that. So there are 2 other towers next by, 1 mile away and another 3 miles away. And where are the density maps that AT&T talked about, because we cannot determine if there's a mobility coverage gap without them. 11 neighbors are close by. 20% of these properties will go down by 20%, these property values. The nearest neighbor is 147 meters away. We know there's deaths among people who live next to these sites. It would be approximately 4,000 people who can possibly die within that distance. And children, adolescents, and pregnant women are especially endangered. WHO classifies this as a carcinogen, and even if the owners do not live on the property, maybe they have renters or caretakers, I don't believe that it is, I believe it's detrimental to the health, safety, peace, morals, comfort, or general welfare. And there's also the coastal trail right next to it. And we were told about SIRS, environmental health hazmat, don't know what that means. So we have a fire danger, which is a risk. There was no fire map included. and it's disrupting migrating birds. It's disrupting insects, and there's marbled murrelets on that property. They're federally listed as threatened under the Endangered Species Act. We have bald eagles that have come back. And why weren't more agencies contacted about this application? And the application, the site mentioned by AT&T is the wrong number, the wrong case number. And we're told the signal is bouncing off. Is that what these star-like structures are showing? The quality of the maps are horrendous. It's hard to read. FirstNet is not in accordance with the outdated wireless county guidelines, and it uses 5G. It's a military patent, and it uses Internet of Things. And so people of the 5 Eyes Intelligence Alliance, those 5 countries.
Your comments, Ms. Weibel, we're at time.
Yes. FirstNet was investigated for fraud and corruption, were sued by the Homeland Security Act, and but also they blocked off the public hearing of their emails on job bidding. I'm not in favor of this tower expansion due to the reasons I mentioned. Thank you for letting me speak.
Staff, thank you for your comments. Do we have anybody else speaking to this topic?
No other hands are raised in the waiting room at this time.
All right. With that, let's open it up to my fellow commissioners for discussion.
I don't really have any discussion. It seems a pretty straightforward project, and I'm ready to vote.
Any other, you're agreed, Babini, and
Likewise.
okay. All right, well, I just want to say a couple things in that I'm a resident of Albion. I know that tower. I think it was actually well placed for what it serves as a population. It is like incredibly useful for the rural character of this area and for emergency safety. And in this last storm, it really proved that when so many people had lost powers and so many emergencies were being called upon, that tower sufficed. So I'd rather have them, and that tower's only really seen from the very end of Middle Ridge on a couple properties, and the monopine, big monopine. And I'd rather have AT&T and other cell providers, tower providers, or service providers double up so we have less of these. It makes sense. So with that, I open to, if I entertain a motion.
Can we close the public hearing, please?
Yes. Oh, sorry,
Thank you.
Adrian. Yes, let's close the public hearing. And if there is a motion.
So I can try if you like.
Yes.
I move that we adopt the resolution approving the case number UM 2022003 for a AT&T mobility tower located at, trying to find the address, sorry. Whoop. 2337, oh no, wait, is that right? Yeah, Highway 1, Albion, California 95410. Subject to all special and standard conditions.
If I may, through the chair, just a correction, the address is 2335.
Right.
North 1 Albion.
Oh, sorry, misspoke.
Yeah, North Highway 1. Do we need to, did you also add conditions of approval in there?
Yeah, I said subject to all standard and special conditions of approval.
Okay, all right.
And briefly, Deputy County Council Matthew Kudrowski, the conditions of approval are attached to the resolution as an exhibit as well.
Right. And that includes Exhibit A and B, correct? In your motion.
Yes.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Pollan,
Yes.
Commissioner Babini.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Chair Wiedemann.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right. With that, what we have, we'll move on to item number 7, matters from staff. And I'm not sure we have anything at this point.
If I may, through the chair, we have no items.
Okay, thank you. Then we move to matters from commission. Any matters we have for commission? All right, and then do we have approval of minutes? And
No minutes at this time, Chair Wiedemann.
that's right, no minutes. All right, well then I'll entertain adjournment.
I'd like to move that we adjourn and everybody has a wonderful day.
I second that. Everyone has most of their day back. Have a great Thursday, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Wiedemann.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for covering. All right, everybody.
Bye.
Happy New Year.